Even after her passing in 1994, Jackie Kennedy Onassis left behind a legacy of intellect, resilience, and undeniable style. Was it her contribution to American culture, her role as First Lady, or her status as a fashion icon? She nailed them all. In today's video, we'll take a tour through Jackie's super luxurious homes and properties and see just how expensive her life truly was. But first, let's take a quick look at her life story. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis was born Jacqueline Lee Bouvier on July 28, 1929 in Southampton, New York. Her parents divorced when she was young, shaping much of her early years. Her father, John Vernou Bouvier III, instilled in her a deep love for literature and the arts. She attended Vassar and George Washington University and even spent a year studying in Paris. Her time in France wasn't just about academics, she also fell in love with French culture. Jackie married John F. Kennedy in 1953, back when he was still a young senator. That marriage thrust her into the public eye, and by 1961 she became the First Lady of the United States. One of her most notable achievements as First Lady was the restoration of the White House, where she reintroduced period furnishings to celebrate the building's history. She also hosted a televised tour of the White House, and those state dinners, let's just say they were more than just fancy meals. Unfortunately, when President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, Jackie faced unimaginable heartbreak. Then in 1968, Jackie made headlines again when she married Jacqueline Onassis, a Greek shipping magnate. This marriage wasn't just about love, it was also about ensuring the safety and security of her two children, Caroline and John Jr. After Jacqueline Onassis passed away in 1975, Jackie stepped away from the public spotlight. She started a fulfilling career as a book editor in New York City, finding joy in a quieter, more private life. But speaking of quiet and private moments, let's dive into Jackie's luxurious homes, places where she spent much of her life. Designed by Rosario Candela in 1930, 1040 Fifth Avenue on New York's Upper East Side is a limestone-clad co-op with 27 apartments spread across 17 stories. Candela was known for his clever designs featuring hidden radiators, perfectly proportioned windows, and layouts that maximize natural light and stunning views. In 1964, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis made this building her home. She purchased a full-floor, 15-room apartment on the 15th floor for $250,000, not long after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Her style shone through in the apartment. It wasn't flashy or over the top, it was warm and inviting. Think skirted sofas, soft lighting with table lamps, and bookshelves filled with her favorite books. The layout was equally impressive. A grand entrance gallery opened into a spacious living room, a library, and a formal dining room, each with its own fireplace. The apartment also included 4 or 5 bedrooms, a maid's room, and even a conservatory. Jackie also brought in a few pieces of furniture from her time in the White House. After her death in 1994, the apartment was sold to David Koch for $9.5 million. Scorpios Island, located in Greece's Ionian Sea, is best known as the private retreat of Jacqueline Onassis and Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The couple purchased the island in 1963 for 3.5 million drachmas, roughly $114,000 today. Over time, the 205-acre island was transformed from a barren outcrop into a lush paradise. Onassis imported 200 types of trees and sand from Salamina to create the picturesque beaches that exist today. The estate also featured multiple villas, a marina, and even a helipad to accommodate his beautiful yacht, Christina O. One of the standout additions was the Pink House Villa, built for Jackie after their 1968 wedding, providing her with a private sanctuary. The island also has a Greek Orthodox chapel where the couple tied the knot in an intimate ceremony with just 40 guests. However, despite its exclusivity, Scorpios couldn't completely shield Jackie from the media, as seen in the infamous 1971 paparazzi scandal. After Onassis' death in 1975, Scorpios passed to his daughter Christina and eventually to his granddaughter Athena. In 2013, Athena sold the island to Russian billionaire Dmitry Rybolovlev for $153 million. Jackie Kennedy Onassis' Redgate Farm on Martha's Vineyard was purchased in 1979 for around $100 million, following the death of her husband, Aristotle Onassis. The 340-acre property was originally a sheep farm with just a small hunting cabin. Jackie enlisted architect Hugh Newell Jacobson to redesign it into a Cape Cod-style main residence and guesthouse, which was completed in 1981. The property featured over a mile of private Atlantic beachfront, 2 freshwater ponds, rolling meadows, wetlands, and dunes. The 6,500-square-foot main house included 5 bedrooms with ocean views, a library, a dining room, and terraces that offered breathtaking scenery. Other structures on the property included a guest house, a caretaker's home, and additional facilities such as a barn, a boathouse, garages, and even a whimsical treehouse Jackie built for her grandchildren. Outdoors, the property boasted a vegetable garden, a blueberry patch, a tennis court, and a pool. Jackie envisioned the farm as both a family retreat and a tribute to the natural beauty of Martha's Vineyard. After Jackie's passing in 1994, her daughter, Jacqueline Kennedy, modernized the property in 2000, preserving its classic New England style while updating it for contemporary living. Redgate Farm became a beloved retreat for 3 generations of Kennedys, with Caroline listing it on the market for $65 million in 2019. Jackie Kennedy Onassis' horse farm in Peapack, Gladstone, New Jersey was a reflection of her love for horses and the equestrian lifestyle. Purchased in 1974 for $200,000, this converted barn sat on nearly 10 acres in Somerset County, an area celebrated for its horse culture and scenic beauty. Before buying the farm, Jackie rented a nearby property in Bernardsville. The location was perfect, as Peapack Gladstone had a long history of equestrian traditions, including events like the Essex Hunt Club's annual Blessing of the Hounds. Jackie became a prominent figure in the local riding community, frequently participating in fox hunts. Despite the farm's charm, Jackie's personal touches, its history changed after her passing in 1994. Her family sold the property in 1997 for $1.47 million to a neighbor and friend, Marjorie McDonald Walsh. Sadly, the original structure was later demolished and replaced with a new building. 47 Grosvenor Square in London is a 5,000-square-foot masterpiece that played a key role in the Onassis family life. Aristotle Onassis, her second husband, purchased it in the 1960s, and it quickly became a retreat for her family, especially his sister, Artemis. The apartment had 5 bedrooms, 3 grand reception rooms, a library, and a massive kitchen. But what really set it apart was the 63-foot balcony overlooking Grosvenor Square, a sight that doesn't quite come easy. This was where high society gathered, with Jackie Kennedy Onassis, her sister Lee Radziwill, and even her daughter Caroline gracing the scene at some of the most talked about gatherings in London. Before the Onassis era, the building was owned by Sir John Anderson, a prominent figure in Winston Churchill's wartime cabinet and an influential player at the Royal Opera House. In the late 1980s, the apartment was sold to banking tycoon Edmund Safra. He and his wife Lily carried on the tradition of lavish entertaining, filling the space with the same kind of glamour and excitement that the Onassis name brought. That chapter came to a tragic end in 1999 with Safra's death, but the apartment quickly changed hands. Today, this home was recently sold for a staggering €25 million. Quite the price for a place with a rich history and an even richer overview. Aside from houses, Jackie also had a yacht, the Christina O. Originally a Canadian Navy frigate named HMCS Stormont, this yacht came with quite the history that was tied closely to the life of Aristotle Onassis. Built in 1943, it served during World War II, including the Normandy landings. After the war, Onassis bought it in 1952 for $34,000 and spent $4 million to create its luxurious angles and structure. Renowned architect Cesar Pinal led the redesign, turning the vessel into a floating masterpiece of elegance and extravagance. One of its standout features was a swimming pool with a mosaic floor depicting a minotaur, which could be converted into a dance floor. The yacht's lavish interior boasted 17 staterooms, even named after a Greek island with intricate wood and stone details throughout. The Onassis suite was the crown jewel, featuring a stateroom, office, and a grand bathroom. Ari's bar was another interesting feature, famous for its stools upholstered in whale leather and decor inspired by the Iliad and the Odyssey. Onassis even added modern conveniences like an elevator and an operating theater. The Christina O became a playground for Hollywood stars, politicians, and cultural icons. Guests included Marilyn Monroe, Winston Churchill, Elizabeth Taylor, and John F. Kennedy. Churchill was such a cherished guest that Onassis would give up his own suite during his visits. After Onassis' death in 1975, the yacht was donated to the Greek government, but sadly fell into despair. In 1998, shipping magnate John Paul Papanikolaou stepped in and restored it with a $50 million renovation. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.